Hey everyone, this is Pastor Chris coming to you live from Lexington Park Baptist Church, and this is PC Studios, and it is July the 29th, 2021. How in the world are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're ready to get your groove on. Let's get ready for a word of encouragement today. Anyway, so I hope you're doing well today. I hope life is treating you good, and anyway, just hope that things are going well for you today. So, wanted to kind of change a little bit of what I hope to talk about today. I really want to look at the Olympics in a Christian worldview, and I hope you can hear. I hope you're watching the Olympics. I have seen some people not watch the Olympics, and we can't really watch them the way we want. We did buy a subscription to Peacock and a couple other places so we can watch it because we're kind of cheap. We have internet, but we don't have we don't pay to have services. We just watch what we can get free or cheap, right? Anyway, so if you're watching the Olympics out there, can we shout out for Team USA? Can somebody type in there, "Yay, Team USA" or something? Let's feel some love for Team USA. They're doing great. There's a lot of people that are really doing a lot of things. So I want us to look at perhaps us having, what would that look like for us to have a proper view of, the Olympics? What should a Christian view of the Olympics be? And I'm, because the Bible's not going to talk to us about the Olympics, right? It's just not. So what should the Olympics look like, and how should a Christian respond to the Olympics? I think those are questions that are legitimate. Can we enjoy Olympics? Can we be patriotic? These are deeply rooted questions that I think that we all should deal with. We should all strive to answer. How should I respond to that? So anyway, I'm getting some disruptions, so I'm sorry if there's interruptions in the broadcast right now. I hope you're out there and you're able to hear. So I didn't see anybody write in Team USA, so I'm going to write in Team USA, and hopefully that'll pop up, and I know everything's going okay. So if you're out there, give me a shout, give me a thumbs up, give me a go, Team USA. So as we talk about this, I started thinking about this. There's tons of scriptures that could support us. First of all, do all for the glory of God. The Bible's filled with examples of running a race and seeing it through to completion. Even Hebrews chapter 12, we're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, and this is talking about Christian faith. So Paul uses these Olympic aspects to connect to our faith. So I think the Olympics can give us a thing of our faith. And I really wanted to come back and talk about this today, give you a few scriptures, and I want to do a couple discussion points. First of all, is the fact that the Bible does tell us also to rejoice with those who rejoice. That's Romans 12:15. And mourn with those who weep with those who weep, or mourn now. I know it's not talking about athletics here, all right? So, but God's given us sports. God's given us athleticism. God's given us things like Olympics, where we can compete in fair ways and make rules and strive to do things with excellence. I think that all is very fitting for God. He wants us to have fun. He wants us to enjoy life. And so I think in those aspects, the Olympics are good. It brings the world together in a moment in healthy competition. We don't have to be as conflicted. And so I think there's a lot of beautiful things that can come out of the Olympics that a Christian can support. We can be proud of our nation. We can root on our team. We can see these athletes compete and do things that just are fabulous. From shooting, listen, there's gun shooting to archery to swimming to gymnastics to biking to rowing, beach volleyball and volleyball. It's amazing. The skateboarding this year, it is amazing to watch. And it is amazing to see these athletes compete. They support each other. Yes, there's obviously nation against nation, but it's not an ugly thing. And so I think we can rejoice in that, can't we? I think that's an amen thing. And I think from that grounds, not that I'm trying to, we can have a biblical worldview of the Olympics, and I think we can go Team USA, and it's a good thing. So I hope you're watching it. We're winning a lot of gold medals, which is great. Even Taekwondo was in it. The first woman we won with Taekwondo. There's weightlifting. I can go on and on the things I've been able to see, and I'm just amazed. I watch a recap every night, and maybe 3-4 hours. It's for the next 2 weeks. That's just what I'm going to do every night. I'm going to do that, and it's something that Shawnetta and I enjoy. The family kind of enjoys. Again, it may not be ideal. We don't get to see everything, but it is. But I want to talk about a conflict that's going on. I brought it up yesterday, and it's bothered me, and I may not have expressed myself the way I wanted to. And it's about Simone Biles. I don't know if you're familiar with her case. She's a decorated champion, gold medalist, Rio Olympics, and was on her way to become the most decorated, potentially, gymnast in American history. That all went astray as she entered the competition, and she removed herself for mental health reasons. And that's really started a debate that I want to talk about. I want to give you scripture first, and then I want to talk about it, because I'm not sure, I could be misunderstood. So don't hear what I'm not saying, and I want you to hear what I am saying, because this has become controversial. But in 1 John 3:17, if anyone has the world's goods and sees a fellow believer in need, but withholds compassion from him, how does God's love reside in him? Now, I have a feeling John's probably talking about if we have possessions, we should share. But I'm thinking if we have compassion, we should give. We should not withhold compassion, and we should give compassion to one another. Just like we should give rejoicing to each other, cheer each other on, and want to see the things that are good that happen. So I want to say a few things. First of all, Simone is the hero. She was the champion. She was supposed to lead the U.S. women's team to to win the team gold medal. She was slated potentially to win the overall around gold medal and to win all these individual events. All right, so she removed herself from mental health. And I want to talk about that because yesterday I want to make sure everyone really has a clear perspective of what I'm saying. There's actually, amongst Christian authors and conservative authors and liberal authors, they're all over the place. People are applauding her for doing this, almost like applauding her like she got the gold medal. Others are I'm not really seeing anybody be mean-spirited about it, but maybe not as compassionate as they should be. And then I look at myself. I'm kind of in the middle here, so I want to make this clear. My heart breaks for her. I don't know the pressure that she's been under, and even though we don't know her personally, because she's a public figure, she's a role model to all these kids. She is a representative of the United States of America. I really feel for her. The world put so much pressure, and she said she felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. God be with her. God bless her. I really feel for her that got to her, this competitive athlete that has been through so much pressure and has performed to such high levels that it broke her down to where she had to remove herself from mental health. That is tragic. It is extremely unfortunate, and it should break our heart. I'm very, very, very concerned for her and have compassion for her. And I just think that is just a very bad thing that happened to her. And so I want to encourage you to pray for her. I want to encourage you to, make sure that you're remembering her and Team USA as they go through this. The other thing I want us to look at, which I think is really important, is the other side of this that has caused the controversy. We don't. I talked about quitting yesterday, and I don't think it's fair to say she's not a quitter. She's a champion. So don't take my words wrong there. I hope you understand that. She is a champion. But people applauded that, and it's almost like we're applauding the fact she quit. And we don't want to see kids quit. To start to play the piano, it's hard for her to start to. If she had said, "Mom and Dad, when she was little, gymnastics is too hard for me, I'm going to quit," that would not have been a good thing either, right? That would have been a very bad thing. So we want to make sure we separate these issues of compassion for the pressure this young lady's been underneath, cheering her on, hoping she gets well and she's able to overcome this. And now she's going to have to live with the decision she made to remove herself from the Olympics. I mean, forever and ever, will she regret that? So I see in her future some tough times on that aspect too, because she is a competitive athlete. And, she's been through that sex scandal that happened with the Olympics and that abuse, and she's been through a lot. So I think we need to have great compassion, but we need to separate that compassion from almost celebrating her removing herself. I do have great sympathy for her and compassion for her, and I am glad. I wish she had removed herself earlier, because I think she probably felt this weight before she ever got to Tokyo, and that took a slot away from another athlete. So I see that side of it too, and I think that's disappointing. I think it's disappointing for her, and I'm disappointed for Team USA for that too. But here's the good news. Simone's going to be surrounded by love, and she's going to get the help she needs, and we need to do that. We need to support that. And here's where I want to focus. When it got tough, her team didn't quit. Her team supported her decision, and they moved on. Even though she was supposed to be the one that was supposed to champion them to that. Listen, our U.S. team girls went and got the silver medal. And then, this is so awesome. And then one of our own girls that would probably not, Sunny Lee, ends up winning the gold medal overall gymnast of the Olympics. So Simone's decision, God bless her, and I feel for her, motivates Team USA to get the silver medal overall, and then this one girl gets the chance. And maybe it wouldn't have happened if Simone had been in it, but she rises up to the moment. And what a not an underdog, because they're all champions, right? But what an opportunity that presented itself. And we need to celebrate that and rejoice in that, but we need to celebrate in all the victories. Listen, I'm watching, it's given me a little bit of pride in my nation again, because I'll be honest with you, it disgusts me when I see athletes use the Olympics or their sports for agendas to promote things that I think are anti-American, the gay agenda, wokeism, all those type of things. It's troublesome. I know some of the athletes have done that at the Olympics. Some of them do that in their personal, when they represent their team that they play for, and some of them decided they're not going to bring that to the Olympics. I applaud that. I thank them for that. Others have brought it to the Olympics, but for the most part, when you see them win, and when you see the pride in their face when the anthems played, when they had that gold medal and they said, "It did this for the USA," but they also did it for themselves. But when you think that they're representing us and saying, and they have pride, that gives me pride. That reminds me that maybe the Olympics can be a healing balm for the divisiveness in our nation. I don't know that if it will or not, but I hope and pray that it will be good for our nation. So I just want to remind us as we watch these athletes, let's rejoice with them. And let's mourn with them in their loss. Listen, all that work and their effort into that moment, and they lose by a hundredths of a second. They don't qualify or don't get a medal, or they know, I got another 4 years, I have to come back, or I'm too old, I'm not going to be able to come back. This was my last chance. So there's some mourning there too, but there's also that pride of rejoicing in their nation and representing their nation. I saw, I think it was Madagascar. They had never won a medal ever in a swim meet. They did. I think it was that country. It was kind of fascinating. And he was so excited, and I was excited for them. They beat the Americans, but I was excited for him because he brought home that medal that had never been. I mean, what an exciting opportunity to see happen, something like that in that moment. But to also see this gymnastics thing even though it's got some controversial aspects to it, and I disagree with the celebration of it, but I agree with the compassion of it, but then see it catapult others to victory and to bring the best out of themselves, man, that is just awesome stuff. And I think we need to rejoice in that. And I think we need to remember the Bible tells us that for Christians, we need to have compassion towards other people. I think sometimes we can be mean or get caught up into it, and I didn't want yesterday's talk to be construed with that. I want us to really think about this and let's celebrate. And I want to encourage you to watch the Olympics. And the last thing I want to talk about, because I've seen some of my Christian friends out there, and none that are watching me on this program or regularly attend that I'm aware of, but I've seen people, they just refuse to watch the Olympics. And I understand, because of these bad apples, these bad people, like some of the ladies on the girls' soccer team, I hope they lose, I'll be honest with you. But I'm going to watch. I want to watch America, but I'm not going to watch them. So I can choose not to watch those that are making it political or are making America look bad, or promoting this wokeism or whatever they think they're doing, whatever they think their agenda is. And they're just doing it in the wrong way. You know what? We can turn them off. But I'm not going to turn off the ones that are being honorable. I'm not going to turn off the ones that are rejoicing. I'm not going to turn off, listen, I'm disappointed for Simone. I'm going to be compassionate towards her. I'm going to pray for her and hope for her well-being. God bless her. Whatever she's gone through, that's what, as an American, I should do for another fellow American, to love my neighbor as myself, even though I don't know her, but I know she's one of me, right? I want to pull for her. I'm not going to celebrate the quitting aspect, but I'm going to celebrate the compassionate aspect, and I'm going to pull for her well-being. And I hope I'm saying the right words now. And then for all those out there that might be turning off, or you're disgusted in America, I am too in many ways. But let's let the Olympics be a moment where we can come together and celebrate with that tonight I think boxing, an E6 from the Army, a staff sergeant, is going to be competing. She got a bronze in the Worlds, and now she's coming here to the Olympics. Like the lady that won the Taekwondo, all these people that, Ledecky won again the 1500 meter for the women, got the gold. We've taken gold and silver and bronze and so many things and so many aspects that we never have done before. And it's just exciting to see excitement about America, because there's so much crud that's been going on. So I'm rejoicing because there's excitement once again about America, about Team USA. Now I know that America is not in the Bible, America is not God's chosen people and all that, but I do believe America has some exceptionalism to it. I believe America is good, and I believe America rights many of its wrongs. And I do believe, even though there's always been civil disagreements and political differences and philosophical differences in how to lead our nation and how to govern our nation over the years, the Constitution stood true. The Declaration of Independence, a Judeo-Christian ethic has been embedded in that. And I do believe those things have been lost. And so I see some people, it's always been this way. When you see people point out things, no, it's not always been this way. This is the worst I've ever seen it. But I also see the good in the Olympics. So it gives me hope. So what I just want to end this weekend off with, I wanted to talk to you about, is watch the Olympics from a human perspective and a patriotic perspective and a compassionate perspective and a competitive perspective, and have fun and enjoy it. And turn it off if it goes in a direction where they're making it political or racist or whatever, because they've done that now. We've turned it off. But if they stay to the goodness and they bring out that patriotic spirit, enjoy that moment. Have compassion for who needs compassion. Rejoice for who needs to rejoice. Mourn with those that don't get the medal and put all that effort into it, but enjoy the competitiveness of it, the unity of it, the togetherness of it, bringing the world together. Isn't that kind of what we need? Now, if only we could do that with the gospel of Jesus Christ, right? And I want to leave you with this note. The IMB, International Mission Board, has missionaries over there. I know the crowds have not come to Japan, but there are people over there trying to minister and share the gospel to athletes around the world in hopes that some might get saved and go back to their countries to share the gospel. So as these Olympics go on, pray for our missionaries that are there. Normally they'd be ministering to the crowds and the athletes, but in this time, just trying to find a way in the midst of COVID, and there is COVID still going on, in the midst of that, trying to minister the gospel to those in Japan. And I pray that we'll penetrate that darkness and change lives because we're sharing the gospel there, not only representing our nation, but representing Jesus. And where I said Team USA, the real team is Team Jesus. So let's remember that always. Hey, listen, have a great weekend. Enjoy the Olympics. Enjoy whatever you're going to be doing. I hope to see you Sunday at 10 a.m. for worship, and again Sunday night at 6:30 for worship. We're going to start a new series called The Convictions. Convictions, what we believe, talking about who is God, the one true God, is one of our core convictions. And then at night, we're preaching on the mind of Christ. So I hope to see you for all those events. Remember the two realities I always leave with you. God loves you, and so do I. You go have a great day.